Welcome back to the ProBrick exclusive YouTube channel where we're giving you amazing content on life hacks, women's nature and health. ProBrick exclusive. Subscribe, ring the bell. If you like the video, press like. That helps us out, and share it. Let's get into it, guys.
That before, I'm not anymore. I'm sick.
Oopsie.
I have a dating profile to share with you that will be sure to make you say in a bad way. I'm looking for a woman who isn't a complete fucking hoe. So I'm out of the running, but I'm going to continue to read for the benefit of everybody else. Although Tinder is probably the wrong place to find such a woman. It's okay, Joshua, nobody's going to touch you. Ever. I'm not looking for anything serious. I was open to that before, I'm not anymore. I'm sick of women using me, singular. All I want is a woman to be my fuck monkey. So I'm on the market for somebody that isn't a hoe, but I need you to be a hoe. And I don't want to be used, but I will use you. Capiche? I'm not interested in getting to know you. You aren't that interesting. Coming from the most interesting man in the world. I mean, a 30-year-old white guy named Joshua who still slut shames and enjoys going to the gym and drinking coffee, we're not worthy. The only thing women are good for, he clearly doesn't know that there's a plural of women, but we're gonna let that slide because there are far worse things about him, is sex, and most aren't even that good because they just lie there and don't even move. It's probably because they're busy imagining themselves being with anybody else. I also have a temper. You, Joshua? Your kind heart was so distracting.
Guys, this is what's happening behind the scenes. This is what's happening out in the carnival, the carousel. This is the dirt that people are ending up in. This is the life that you don't want to be tied up with. This is people unable to manage themselves rationally within a relationship, and this is the vitriol, the spite and scorn that is the result of it. And it's very hard for these people to heal. This is something that we all need to consider when we think about what happens to us when we engage people. You've got to be careful about your heart and your soul. And a lot of these people are being terribly hurt. Let's just be honest. This is what we're seeing here. Hurt, disappointed, let down people for the most part. And you don't want to be that. That's why we do these videos. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to be around these sort of environments.
If a guy is young 20s,
I'm gonna love this.
And if he has time to take you on dates a few times a week,
Say it, finish it.
then he's not going anywhere in life.
Yes, yes!
Yeah, well, guys, these older women, they don't mind the younger blokes, but it works two ways, doesn't it? The younger blokes ain't going to stay around. But let's not be stupid. The older women don't want them around either. They're just a convenience. So don't kid yourself, you young blokes.
Keep in mind, from age 45 to 60, single women outnumber single men 25 to 1. The pickings are plentiful for men.
Did you know that, guys? That's true. 25 to 1. And you're fucking around on these dating sites. Get out there. Man up and start confronting some of these women with your masculinity. Offer yourself up. They're screaming for somebody to come up. Look, this is dead set, guys. Look, let's just be honest. I was a kiteboarder, and then I had a very serious accident. And wind winging came up. And I started wind winging. That's wind winging there, guys. That's what I like to do. I get out and wind wing. I love it. Absolutely love it. So there's a little bit of behind the scenes. But before I took up wind winging, I was a kiter, an ocean kiter, and you get the kite. Well, I spotted this woman walking along the beach one day. Hot thing too, she was. Her life was messed up. I didn't know that. But I've come flying in on the wing, hit the shore with the kite up in the air. It's quite spectacular kiting when you're watching them out in the ocean. Can you imagine this woman? She had a daughter with her. Hot thing she was. I've come up to her up the sand, straight out of the water, and said, "What are you doing tonight?" She gave me actually, I gave her my number because I didn't have my phone on, and we hooked up. She didn't turn out to be right for me, but she was a nice lady. And there was, we got it on and all the rest of it, but she wasn't right for me, and I probably wasn't right for her. And this is how you've got to have the courage to go up to these women. Like, I mean, honestly, why wouldn't you? They're there for the pickings. They're either going to say yes or no. And I find 9 times out of 10, they want company. If you look half decent, guys, you're not gonna get left behind. Come on, guys.
I'm just going to go ahead and speak on behalf of all the women who have done the work, the therapy, have learned to love themselves and value themselves. We don't give a shit. We don't give a fucking flying shit. We would rather be alone in our peace with our girlfriends, living our best life, than lower our standards to have a man in our life who is an abusive asshole.
Now, this woman got told, I know I've seen this woman before, she got told she was fat and putting on weight, and it didn't suit her. She didn't like it. And it was a rebound relationship. This is the lady that had the boyfriend Boo. Can you remember Boo? And Boo was still married. Boo was still married. And she dumped Boo and then went back to the ex, Darren, and everything seemed to be going well. And then Darren told her she was putting on weight, and poor old Darren got kicked to the curb. And this is what she's saying. This is what she's saying, man.
Then lower our standards to have a man in our life who is an abusive asshole.
So if I've got this right, he's an abusive asshole because he told her she was putting on weight. She didn't want to hear that, but he was probably right. And that was the end of Darren, wasn't it? He got kicked to the curb. And I tell you, these women are so finicky and fussy, man. And that's why they are on their own. 1 minute they're partying on with you, the next minute they're picking you to pieces, and it's over. And man, you're at the mercy of this mentality. Guys, you got to understand there's someone for everyone. Subscribe, ring the bell if you want more of this content. We're putting the work in. Come on, support us, guys. Like and share the video. There's someone for everyone, guys.
Going to lock a man down? Well, struggle no more, because I'm a certified trap his butt love coach, and I'm going to take you from single to ringle. Step 1, dress in your fanciest attire. I would suggest a fancy animal scarf like this one to show him you're an animal in the streets and also in the sheets. Step 2, invite him over for a romantic dinner of freshly boiled eggs. Not only will he love the creamy gourmet cuisine, but it will also make him subconsciously think about your own fresh fertile eggs just waiting to be hatched into little babies. And finally, and most
Come on, guys, subscribe, ring the bell, like and share the video. Come on.
importantly, don't let him leave. If you walk out this door, I will capture you and make you my prisoner of love. Follow for more tips. Are you struggling to lock a man down? Well, struggle no more.
Yeah, that was a good one, guys, wasn't it? Like, share the video, and ring the bell for more content. You know, I was saying to this lady at work today, the engineer, she said she was 30. I said, you've hit the wall. And things start to change pretty rapidly for women at that age. And she found that quite amusing, and she understood what I meant. But guys, you got to realize, I was also speaking to a young fellow today, the builder, very healthy guy. I said, you know, if you stay healthy now, you're setting yourself up for when you get older. And I know that for a fact, because I'm getting up towards 60 now and I'm dealing with all sorts of injuries and things. But once you get old, man, it's a whole different ball game, and you're at the mercy then of the end of you're at the bottom of the food chain, man. That's all I can say.
One of the biggest challenges we face as older women I'm speaking personally here, of course, is older men. Because whilst many of the women that I know, now that they're post-menopause, their kids have left home, are really entering into this next stage of life with enthusiasm and wonderful spirit, and using this time of life to perhaps engage in creative activities, do all the stuff that they wanted to do, but perhaps had to postpone because of raising kids, having a family, all of that, which takes lots of time and energy. And so at this stage of life, they're really excited and full of just enthusiasm for life. Whereas,
Guys, these are people, obviously this is a woman that had a marriage and everything, and now she's out on the dating market, and this is her spin. This is her take on it all.
many of the men that I meet of my own age are exactly the opposite. They've placed so much time and investment in their work that now that they've retired, or they're coming up to retirement, or they just are lost. They don't know what to do. They don't, and haven't cultivated any hobby.
See, guys, I'm a motorcyclist. I'm a hydrofoiler. I am a cyclist. I am a walker. I paddle a stand-up paddleboard. Man, you've got to have hobbies. You've got to have hobbies. You've got to have things that are going to help you to have a life. A lot of guys like to go camping. A lot of guys like to go on road trips. There's hundreds of things you can do, man. Please don't let work consume your life. She's got a point here, man.
Hobbies, many of them have very few friends. And as a result of that, there's a huge disparity in our energy, in our enthusiasm, in our curiosity. And as a result of that, I know many women just prefer to be single. Even though they would like to be with a partner, they struggle because of the fact that they want and still desire and still feel that they have all of this value.
No, guys, this is where she's just blown it. She's just blown it. As a man gets older, it's statistical fact. As a man gets older, his sexual value rises. As a woman gets older, her sexual marketplace value declines. Now, you can take it or leave it, and it depends on how well you look after yourself and all the rest of it. But the general rule of thumb is, as a man gets older, in comparison to a woman getting older, the man's sexual marketplace value rises, whereas the woman's decreases. Because if you've got your act together and you're an older man, you can get 20-year-old women, you can get 30-year-old women. You don't have to fuck around with 50, 40, 50, 60-year-old women if you're a half-decent bloke. Like, let's just be real for a minute, guys. I mean, this woman, again, this is, look, hang on a sec. She's got purple hair, red hair. This woman ain't getting no one. And that's why she's putting this spin on it. These coloured hair people, don't go near them, man. They got too much going on that hasn't been resolved.
And all of this stuff that they want to do, whereas many of the men don't. They are just kind of a bit lost. And I think it's a real challenge for both sexes because, of course, yes, we understand, it is difficult once you enter this stage of life for many of us, but I suspect for women it's slightly different in that we've gone through biological changes throughout most of our lives. We've, had periods, menopause, post-menopause. Some of us have had kids, all that sort of thing. So we're used to the kind of ups and downs going on in our bodies. But
the men's just breathe through life, did they? No. This is delusion, guys. Oh, and the men just breeze through life. Come on. What a load of crock.
Very often are not. And when their testosterone starts to deplete, or when they've left work, so they feel that they don't have much to do.
Man,
or
I don't
they
know who.
have much-
Look, I'm 60-year-old, and I'll take on any young fucking. I'll come up alongside any young bloke in the cot. I'm serious. I will go in. You put me beside a bloke and his missus, and me and whoever, my missus preferably, but I wouldn't subject her to that, if you know what I mean. Just by way of example, I'm taking on any young bloke, man. There's no issue with that. I'm 60 years old. It pays off how you treat yourself when you are young to how you're going to end up when you're older. I've got no competition at my age, guys, in terms of my sexual performance and all the rest of it. I've got some serious injuries on my body. I can't run or anything, but I can walk because I've got a shattered, repaired ankle. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But in terms of my inner person and ignition towards, my function as a man sexually and romantically and all the rest of it, I'll take on anybody. I can't understand these people, and it must be unfortunate, and it could be biological, that run into trouble with their sexuality. I've just been fortunate, I suppose. But this woman's having herself on. There's no way men breeze through life without anything happening. And I know women have different biological stuff going on than what men do, and that's, to be respected. But there's different battles that each sex faces, and they change as you do get older. But don't think that, women are more robust and all the rest of it because they've gone through all this and they're older. Some of the most fucking impatient and horrible people I've ever met are old women, and I'm sure you'd agree.
Interest, then we deal with it in very, very different ways. I think a lot of men just generally get quite depressed, and women just kind of get on with it because, that's what we do.
Yeah, and women are very merciless when it comes to survival. If a woman's got her mind set on something and that's all there is to it, she'll leave you to die. I've seen women cheat and just because it suited them, hypergamy or something hasn't suited and they've just resentments build up and they've jumped the fence. They don't give a shit what happens to the bloke. You got to understand that, man. They don't care what happens to you. They got to get on with where they're headed, exactly like that woman just said. They're going to do what they got to do. It's got nothing to do with how you're going to end up or who it affects. I've seen some terrible collateral damage by the choices of women. Horrible, selfish, destructive choices, And there's not much you can do about it, man. You've just got to sort of spectate and go, oh, well, here we go. What's going to happen here? It's quite horrific. So, if you haven't already, guys, I do ask, subscribe, press the bell. ProBrick exclusive YouTube channel for more of this content. Like and share the video if it's down your alley. And we'll see you on the next one.